Hi, what I want to talk about today is letting your teen fail and being okay with it. And so if I had to do it all over, my sons are over 20, if I had to do it all over, and what would I do differently? I would let them fail more. So that would be, and because I know that this is a hard thing for parents, and so I really understand it's not easy. But today I want to just talk about why it is important to let them fail and be okay with it. And so what I want to first do is ask you some coaching questions that you can think about and ask yourself. And that is, what is my relationship to failure? Let me just see if anyone, hey, if I don't get to answer your questions, I certainly will take a look after this video. So I hope I don't miss anybody there. And so ask yourself, what is my relationship to failure? What are my fears of letting go? Because part of watching them fail, a lot of that time is letting go of control and letting them make their own decisions. Because, we cannot be micromanaging our teens. We need to help them to become confident young adults who can make their own decisions, who can manage their own lives, who can be more self-directed. And so part of that is letting go of the control. And so what are your fears about letting go? How do I let go of control? And so first look at your own limiting beliefs and see what is stopping you from allowing them to make decisions, because it's often, a lot of the time, fears of the parents. Parenting out of fear can also stop your teens from stepping into more responsibility, because teenagers want the autonomy, but they don't really know what the responsibility looks like, because parents are not always giving them a chance to have the responsibility that comes with that, because they are fearful. And so looking at your own limiting beliefs is always a good place to start. And there's a great quote by John Maxwell, and he says, fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. And so it's about failing forward. Failing forward is learning through failure, learning through your mistakes, and even having the conversation with your teen about that and saying it's okay to make mistakes, because this is one of the big things. Students are really scared of failing. They're scared of letting their parents down, and so they need to know that they have the freedom, that it's okay, and actually you need to fail in order to succeed. So those are always great conversations to have. And just to help you with the whole failure thing, there's what is happening when they're learning through their mistakes, when they're really thinking and figuring out their own solutions. They are building connections in the brain. They're building stronger neuron pathways, because this is the part of the brain that is lacking. The prefrontal cortex is not quite fully developed. Those are the executive functions, the planning, the organizing, critical thinking, emotional regulation, all of that. And so when they learn through failure, when they learn through mistakes, and they're thinking and they're using critical thinking skills, they are building those brain pathways. They are making those pathways stronger and stronger. And if you think about it, when they can do that now, and you help them to learn those lessons now, they'll be in a much better place later on when they have to leave home and they've got to be more responsible. They're more confident to face those harder responsibilities and harder consequences as well. And so you really are helping them build their emotional intelligence. And so look at as, realizing that this is where they're going, and this is how you're training them to be able to be confident later on. And so think about as well that you need to be brave enough to feel the pain, because it is going to be painful. It is hard to watch your kids feel pain. And so you need to be okay with the pain. You need to make peace with the pain, because this is part of life, and you really are enabling them. You really are helping them by giving them a healthy mindset to failure. And the other thing is looking at as, let them fail now, because the stakes are not as high. The stakes are much lower now than they are later on. And so just an example of this, my oldest son, I think he was about 18, and he has his own online business, and he wanted to put a bit of money into this email marketing package that he wanted to buy and build his business. And it was a couple of $1,000s, and it was a bit of a risk. And he did. He bought it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And so it was a great conversation that we had. It was a great learning time for him, because he realized what what not to do. And it was such a good learning through that experience. It was hard to watch. And also, I said to him, well, isn't it better that you failed now as opposed to one day when you have a family to support? Because now you've learned these important lessons for later on. And so, it is encouraging, but they need to feel okay with failure as well. They need to feel that you're not going to judge them or you're not going to come down on them, that it's okay. But the important thing is, what are you learning? You've got to learn through those times when they mess up. And so, when you're helping them grow their prefrontal cortex, you're also helping relationships. By letting them do more for themselves, you're helping your connections as well and your relationships, and it improves the whole family dynamics, the more that you allow them to self-manage, because it just does, you're not nagging them so much, you're not telling them what to do, and you really are building those strong bonds and those strong relationships. And so, and so the other thing is, so there's questions you could ask them, and these are great coaching questions. Ask them this, as often as you can, like, what is working? What's working? What's going really well? Let's celebrate. What's going really well with school or whatever it is? And then what's not working? What's not working about the plan that you had last week? How's it going? What's not working? Let's figure out how you can do it better. And then what are you learning about yourself? And so when they fail, don't focus on the failure so much, but focus on what are you learning, because you're really wanting them to learn character. You're really wanting them to have other skills other than just, school and that sort of thing. And so what are you learning about yourself? It's always a great question. And it helps them with a growth mindset. When they become more comfortable with failure, realizing that, hey, this is okay. And it helps them with having more of a growth mindset. And so that was just my little Friday tip that I thought I would jump on today and just give you some encouragement. And it's tough, but the more you can do that, the more you can have those conversations and feel okay with it. The better your team will feel about that as well. And so, thanks so much.